Ladies and gentlemen, I've always opined on this platform that politics is a very dirty game. And Mike Sonko is learning the hard way. It's actually the end of the road in his bid of becoming the next governor of Mombasa. The IEBC today named Mike Sonko, amongst others, as some of the individuals who have been disqualified from running in the upcoming general election.
Another category in the report are aspirants impeached and removed from public office for abuse of office. Under this category, the Commission received a report on 2 aspirants for the position of governor and 1 aspirant for the position of senator who have been impeached. The Commission's position is that the stipulation of Article 75 of the Constitution was never intended for ornamental purposes, but as an effective clause that requires holders of public office to conduct themselves with decorum and in a manner that brings honor to the office. In terms of the provisions of Article 75(3) of the Constitution, a person is dismissed or otherwise removed from office for contravention of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. A person who is removed from office on contravention of Chapter 6 of the Constitution is disqualified from holding any other state or public office, whether effective or elective or appointive. The Commission's position is that Article 75 of the Constitution is self-speaking and self-executing and does not have a proviso or a saving clause. Therefore, the 3 aspirants who have been removed from public office through impeachment are disqualified from contesting in the elections. In addition, a gubernatorial aspirant seeking election in Mombasa County was disqualified by the Commission from contesting as a candidate in the 2017 election. The reason for disqualification was and remains that he was removed from public office for abuse of office. He was convicted by the court on 15 December 2011 and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. He therefore stands disqualified.
That announcement by Wafula Chebukati means several things. One of them is that Mike Sonko cannot be eligible to contest for any political office in this country, whether the Senate, whether the MP, whether the MCA. Mike Sonko can also not serve any government in this country. And the question which I want to ask you, and I just need your honest answer. We all understand that politics is a dirty game. My question is this. Do you think Mike Sonko would have been impeached if he supported President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga and the handshake? Personally, I think Mike Sonko was impeached because of several reasons, but one of them is his fight with the system and the deep state. Deep state is deep. So when Mike Sonko started fighting with President Uhuru Kenyatta, I knew he had no option. Because Mike Sonko became the governor of Nairobi, courtesy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. The truth of the matter is that Uhuru Kenyatta was a presidential candidate. He was popular. The Kikuyu nation needed Nairobi, but they could not win Nairobi. So they had to reach out to Mike Sonko so that Mike Sonko could come with the youth voting bloc, the votes of the poor who are his co-support base, and the Kamba. That's why Mike Sonko ended up getting more votes in Nairobi than Uhuru Kenyatta and than Raila Odinga. Of course, on paper, Mike Sonko was impeached because of corruption. How many governors are corrupt in this country? Then the truth is that he was impeached for resignation of Igade. When Mike Sonko was being given, in quotes, that seat, the condition was that Polycarp Igade was going to be his deputy, and Polycarp Igade was going to run the county of Nairobi, or the city of Nairobi, while Sonko was going to deal with politics. When Sonko sat on that seat, He forgot that. So he wanted to run the city. He wanted to play politics. He forgot that Igathe was put there for a specific purpose. So he had to go. And Igathe is going to become the next governor of Nairobi. The other reason why Sonko was removed, in my view, was because of his support for the deputy president. And that's why I'm asking you guys, assuming Sonko had supported Uhuru Kenyatta and had supported Raila Odinga and the handshake, do you think he would have been impeached? Mike Sonko would still be the governor of Nairobi. He would not have been impeached. Those are the facts. In fact, I tend to believe that Mike Sonko would probably be the Azimio candidate for Nairobi. And I'm certain that probably the Azimio team would not have bothered much with Kalonzo Musyoka. But several questions are being asked. But several questions are being asked. In this video, I want us to look at this move to bar Mike Sonko from Mombasa. Before we do that, in case you are watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let me begin this video by asking you guys a simple question. 3 questions. The first question: what do you think was Mike Sonko's game plan in Mombasa? Because if Mike Sonko was the governor for Nairobi and he was impeached, why would he shift to Mombasa? What do you think was his game plan? In my view, I think Mike Sonko realized that the deep state was so keen on Nairobi and that they were not going to allow him anywhere near Nairobi. So to avoid any fight with the deep state, Mike Sonko then opted to go for Mombasa. And the question which I kept on asking myself, why would Mike Sonko, of all the people, decide to go to Mombasa and not Kwale, where he was born, according to records, or maybe Machakos? Because Machakos would have been an ideal county for Mike Sonko for several reasons. Sonko is a camper. He has a home in Machakos County. So why Mombasa? That's one thing which, up to this stage, I'm not able to reconcile with. Why Mike Sonko just decided to go to Mombasa? You know, in this country, we have how many cities? 3 or 4. Kisumu, Mombasa, Nairobi. So why would Sonko choose Mombasa? And what was his game plan? Because number one, Mombasa is known to be Raila Odinga's stronghold. That's number one. Number two, Mike Sonko doesn't really stay in Mombasa. Of course, with his brand of politics, he was going to disrupt the political equation in Mombasa. But what was his game plan? That's something which, up to this stage, I don't understand, and probably you may help me understand. So that's my first question. What was Mike Sonko's game plan for Mombasa? Anybody who has an idea should let me know. The second question, which I want to ask, who do you think Mike Sonko is going to support in this election after being barred from contesting? Is Mike Sonko going to support the Azimio la Umoja movement? Or is he going to support William Samoei Arap Ruto and Kenya Kwanza? In Mombasa, who is Mike Sonko going to support? Is he going to throw his weight behind Hassan Omar? Or is Mike Sonko going to throw his weight behind Abdul Swamad Nasir, the ODM candidate? Those are the questions, because Mike Sonko, you can dismiss him the way you want, but one thing I know for sure is that Mike Sonko has support base. Mike Sonko and his populist brand of politics, there's a way it resonates so well with the masses. So who is he going to support in Mombasa? Those are the questions. The third question which I want to ask, what demands is Kalonzo going to put? Because remember, Kalonzo Musyoka negotiated for Nairobi deputy governor. In Mombasa, Kalonzo Musyoka wanted the gubernatorial seat to be left to him. ODM just declined. But the truth of the matter is that Kalonzo Musyoka was the man behind Mike Sonko's entry into Mombasa. And I remember Kalonzo was lucky to have a gentleman, Ali Mbogo, the Kisauni member of parliament, expressing interest to contest that seat. Ali Mbogo was the only elected member of parliament on Wiper from Mombasa. That's a gentleman Kalonzo Musyoka ought to have supported or stood with. Instead, Kalonzo Musyoka negotiated with him to become Mike Mbuvi Sonko's running mate. So today, as we speak, after Sonko has been bad, it's now automatic that Ali Mbogo is also going to the political oblivion. So unless certain promises are going to be made to Ali Mbogo, I think Kalonzo Musyoka has lost. But what was Kalonzo Musyoka's objective with Mike Sonko in Mombasa? For me, I've always viewed Kalonzo Musyoka as someone who was serving interest of the deputy president. And I won't be surprised if, for example, Mike Sonko will throw his weight behind the deputy president, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. But now, what next for Sonko? He's now been bad. There's nothing he can do. He can't go to court because even if he goes to court, IEBC will not clear him. I don't think any court in his right mind, will attempt to issue an order to IEBC as a matter of urgency to clear Sonko. I don't think so. So what next for Mike Mbuvi Sonko? What are his options after he has been bad? Because you can't rule, Mike Sonko is someone you can't rule out of politics. In my view, Mike Sonko has only 3 options. The first option for me is to stick with Azimio and prove President Uhuru Kenyatta wrong. You see, Sonko is learning that politics is very dirty. And because he's learning that politics is dirty, I am certain and 100% sure. I am certain and 100% sure that Mike Sonko Mbuvi would want to remain relevant. Of course, after he's been impeached, because the court is very clear that, IEBC is very clear that once you have been impeached, you can't run. So I don't know whether he can go to court later to clear his name, but he can join Azimio, campaign with them, campaign for them after the elections, then he can go back underground, continue with what he's doing. Because if you want to do that, Mike Sonko is going to be in trouble. The second option for me is that he can decide to rebel, whereby rebelling means he's going to join Tanga team. The problem with that is that in case William Ruto will not win, he's going to be brought down. That's a route which Mike Sonko, based on his business, would not want to do. But for me, the best, if I were Sonko, what I'd do, I'll just remove brandings from my car and everything, go underground until the next general election. For now, let us wait and see Mike Sonko's next move. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. But I pity Mike Sonko. He had a very bright future. How Mike Sonko entered into the political scene is something which will require people to study, because he defeated Ruben Dono. He defeated Dick Wathika using a small political party by that time, NAK Kenya. In Nairobi, Mike Sonko defeated Governor Kidero, a man who is highly educated, a man who was serving as a governor. Mike Sonko has his education background is not very clear, but he defeated him. So Mike Sonko's political journey in this country is something which is well secured. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.